Welcome back, folks. Yesterday's player picks were on fire, hitting 3 out of 4, securing a solid comeback. We even added some late plays for a mix of wins and losses, but the profit exceeded expectations. Now let's dive into today's matchups. So let's dive right into today's action. Starting with Cavaliers versus Mavs, both teams trending under in various categories. Both teams under total look appealing, as the Cavaliers have covered the under 117.5 mark in all 5 matchups. It's the same story for the game total at under 233. This has also hit 100% in matchups. For the Mavs, under 114.5 team total. This is hit in 4 out of 5 matchups. If anything, we suggest favoring the unders in this fixture. We decide to stay clear of the player markets for this game. Nothing stands out to me, so we will move on to the next. Moving to the matchup between the Nets and Magic. For me, Nets money line, or even better, plus 10 Nets definitely looks appealing, with both covering over 77% in 9 matchups. You could also consider Nets to go over 102.5 team total, as they have also hit this in 7 out of 9 matchups. The same goes for Magic, this time the under 112.5 team total. This has landed 7 out of 9 matchups also. Again, for player picks, we will skip this game as no players meet our requirements. Now for the Wizards versus Warriors game. Wizards have covered the 11.5 spread in 4 of the 5 matchups. They have also covered over 113.5 team total in the same amount of games. We are expecting a Warriors win, and with that we could consider them to hit over 125.5 team total. After all, this is also hit in 4 of the last 5 matchups. For players, we are going to skip our 3 game in a row. For me, this could easily be the worst game today for players' bets, so we will leave it alone. We land at the Hawks versus Jazz matchup. With this one, the more we look at the stats, the more we think leaving the team markets alone is the best option. Nothing looks appealing when it comes to these markets, but from a player's perspective, we do like the look of DeJounte Murray's points and assists line at under 33.5. He has covered the line in 47 out of 54 games this season. His last 5 is a little shaky as it sits at a 60% cover rate. His 4 matchups also has a nice coverage as it's a flawless 100%. As we are taking a little risk in this game, we also decided to take Jalen Johnson for under 32.5 points, rebounds, and assists. His season coverage for this line is 72%, that's 31 games out of 43. His last 5 has an 80% coverage and another 100% in matchups. As we showed earlier, this game could easily be a high-scoring game, so be careful with these 2 player picks. Now for Boston versus Philly. Boston have hit the under 121.5 team total in 15 of the 18 matchups, Philly with plus 12. 5 spread has also covered the same amount of time. The game total has also covered under 229 points in 14 of the 18 matchups. It all depends on what you feel comfortable with on this one. For players, we like the look of taking Paul Reed's under 8.5 rebounds again. We won with this line a few days ago, but it could be worth a revisit. With an 86% season coverage, a steady 60% in his last 5, and a huge 92% in his 13 matchups. We are happy with the risk on this one, especially knowing Boston are first in rebounds. On to the Knicks and Pelicans game. We suggest staying clear of the game markets. We have nothing interesting to look at with this one. But for a player pick, we are taking a risk with Jalen Brunson's under 42.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He is only covered in 36 out of season, also only 60% in his last 5. However, his matchups are at a solid 100% in all 6 games. We're looking for his to play less minutes with this one. A poor opponent and a lot of games played recently could help us in this situation. Or he could blow past our line with ease. It's worth a shot in my opinion. Now for the Bulls and the Pistons game. Again, I would stay clear of the game markets. It's basically a 50-50 on all best bar the Bulls money line, and the odds aren't worth any one time for our player pick. Yes, we took a loss on him the other day, but we are at him again. Ayo Dosunmu to go under 4.5 assists. I know it seems short. Looking at the line, you think he will hit that with ease. Looking at the stats, that's not the case. His season coverage is sat at 85%, staying under the line in 47 out of 55 games. His last 5 is a lot weaker, though, only staying under in 40% of games. His matchups tell a better story, as he has stayed under the line in 9 of 10 matchups. Let's see how he gets on. Heading for the Bucks and Hornets matchup. We again suggest not betting the game markets as nothing looks appealing. We did, however, manage to find a player we like the look of. That would be Brandon Miller. We like him to go under 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists. With a 72% season coverage, also hitting 80% in his last 5 and 2 for 2 in his matchups. What's not to like? We have also had success with Miller in the past. Now for the Timberwolves and Spurs matchup. We suggest favoring Spurs plus 13 as it's covered in 8 of 10 matchups. You could also keep an eye on Spurs to go O-Air 105.5 team total as it's covered in the same amount of games. We will be taking Naz Reid to stay under 20.5 points and rebounds. He has stayed under this line in 40 out of 57 games this season. His last 5 games have all stayed under this line, while his matchups have an 85% coverage. This seems like a solid pick for today. We move on to the game between OKC and the Rockets. The under 235.5 game total definitely looks appealing as it's covered in 9 of 10 matchups. We also like the line for OKC to stay under 123.5 team total. We will keep a close eye on these two plays. For our player pick, we went for Josh Giddey to go over 3.5 assists. He has a steady 70% season coverage, his last 5 sits at 60%, and he hit over this line in 7 of his 9 matchups. Now for the final fixture between the Heat and the Blazers. For us, this game has nothing of interest. We don't see anything for the game market, and we came across the same problem when looking for players. We decided to leave this one alone. And that's it for today, folks. As we wrap up, remember that sports betting involves risks, and it's crucial to make informed decisions. These picks are based on analysis, but outcomes can be unpredictable. Best of luck with your bets, and we'll catch you in the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on our picks and analysis. Until next time, may the odds be ever in your favor.